So you want to use pixel art style things to create an intro in Blender 2.8 Eevee. Hey guys, welcome back to TutsByKai. I'm Kai, and today we're back in Blender once again, taking a look at this cool pixel art technique that I'm using to create an intro, or really whatever you want. But I figured we'd do an intro since I have this really cool idea for an animation with it as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit delete to delete our default cube. I'm sorry, default cube. I'm also gonna delete the lamp. I'm not gonna delete that. I'm gonna hit Alt G to clear the location and Alt R to clear the rotation. Same thing with the camera. We'll select it. Alt G, Alt R to clear rotation and location. RX 90 on my numpad. Left click to confirm. G, Y to move the camera backwards on the Y axis. There we go. 0 to go into my camera's view. Now I'm going to grab this. I'm going to use my middle mouse button to pan around my scene and use this lamp. I'm going to pull this backwards by hitting G, Y, move that back behind the camera. And we'll go to the lamp tab here, right there, and we'll change this to sun, and then I'll hit RX 90, and then now it's kind of facing this way. So if you could see, there you go. It's facing that way, which is what I want. So we will go ahead and hit Shift A to add in a text object, RX 90 on my numpad. Left click to confirm that rotation. Period to zoom into our text there. And I'm just going to go ahead and we can type whatever you want by hitting tab and then just deleting that and just typing in like tuts or whatever. I'm just going to leave it as text for this though, because that works for the thumbnail. We're going to go ahead and just go up to the font here, the font tab, and we'll just choose. Actually, we're not going to choose a font. I'm sorry. I'm so used to doing that. We don't need to choose a font for this. You can choose a font if you want to, but it doesn't really matter because it looks great the way that it is. I'm also going to go ahead and open up geometry and change the extrude value to maybe 0.1 to 0.1. Looks good like that. You can change the depth, but it's not necessarily a good thing, and I'll show you why in a second here. So I'm going to leave that on 0. We're only going to do the extrude value at 0.1. I'm going to go to the modifiers tab. Oh, first, I'm going to go back to the text tab and go to horizontal alignment and change it to center, because that bugs me. All right, so now we're looking good. We can go to the modifiers tab once again, which is the wrench. Add modifier, and this modifier is going to be remesh. Now you can see it's going to get rid of all the other letters except for the first one. So we're going to fix that by unchecking remove disconnected pieces. Now we have all those pieces. Looks really stupid, but I know. We'll fix it in a second, don't worry. We're going to change this mode from sharp to blocks. Now you can see we're getting that little bit of the pixel art style I'm talking about. We're going to have to do a couple things though. So I'm going to turn the octree depth up to 6. There we go. And now we have that pixel art style, which looks good. So now we can literally have any object and use the remesh modifier on blocks and change the scale to kind of animate the pixel art to make it kind of like, building itself, which is pretty sweet. So I think a good value to keep this at a base is if you want to go with something a little bit more blocky, maybe 5. If you want to go something with a little bit more detail, 0.9. So I'm going to leave it on 0.9 for today's example. I'm going to hit 0 on my camera, 0 on my numpad to go into the camera's view. I'm also going to go back to our text tab and then change the Y offset to negative 0.2, and then that'll be good. Actually, maybe negative 0.25 would be good. Negative 0.25. There we go. Yeah. All right. That's a little low. Maybe negative 0.22. Yeah. Sweet. Looks good. All right. So now when we rotate this, it'll rotate in the center, which is what I want. But this is going to be a very simple animation. So we're going to go to the first frame here, which I'm going to make 0 because pet peeve, We're going to go to the beginning, go back to that modifier, and on the scale here, I'm going to change this to maybe 0.1. That might be too big. Nope, that's fine. Perfect the way it is. 0.1. And I'm going to hover my cursor over top of that, hit I. Now we can animate this, which is super cool. I'm going to go to frame maybe 100, and we'll change this scale back to 0.9. And then hit I while our cursor is hovering over top of that. Now, if we scrub, you can see that this will change into that more, readable text object, which is nice. So if I play this, it looks super cool. So that's a really, really easy way of trying to get some text to like focused in, maybe. I want to actually move this up, so I'm going to select this keyframe, hit G to move this up to maybe frame, I want this to be much quicker, so maybe frame 20. Yeah. Maybe even quicker than that. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. I want to change this frame rate to 60. So we'll go to the scene tab here, change the frame rate to 60, and then we can play it again. Much better. All right, so sweet. So maybe even quicker than that. Maybe just a little bit. Maybe 10. Yeah, okay, that looks good. It kind of looks like it's unobscuring itself. So that's really cool. I also want it to obviously it needs to come from something. So I want to do something kind of cool here. So I'll go to the text object here. And we'll actually rotate this. So on frame 10, I want it to be rotated how it is. So we'll go to frame 10, hit I, rotation. And then we'll go back to the first frame and then hit RX90, negative, because I want it to go backwards. And then hit I, rotation. Now, you can still see this when we're in the camera tab. So it's not invisible. I want it to come out of nowhere. But it's not invisible right now. It's just rotating, which is not what I want. So what we're going to do to fix that is we're going to go ahead and change the extrude value from 0.1 to 0. So on frame 10, I'm going to hover my cursor over top of extrude, hit I, and then go back to the first frame, change the extrude value to 0, and then hit I once again. Now it comes out of nowhere. You can see kind of, you know, pops out of nowhere, but still, it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. All right, there we go. Looks good. We have a little bit of something here, and what's even cooler is we can actually go back to the octree depth and turn that up and down too if you really, really want to. It can start off as a default cube, guys. Look at this. It can start off as a default cube and then turn into the beautiful, beautiful thing you know as the text object, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to change this to 3 on the first frame, hit I. Then on frame 10, I'll change it back to 6, hit I. There we go. I'm also going to scale this up a little bit. So on frame 5, I will hit I, scaling, and then go back to the first frame, hit 0, hit S, sorry, 0. Then click I, scaling. Now, this will scale up, it will unobscure itself, and it will rotate very slightly. So we have a lot going on in that little bit of time that you don't really notice, but you will appreciate because you just don't notice it, like when you pick it apart, but you will notice all of these things. You just don't notice that you notice them. Okay, we're going to continue. All right, so what I've done pretty much is I've grabbed the background color and I changed that to yellow, which looks pretty good. And I'm also going to go ahead and go to the scene tab here and go down to color management and turn this from filmic to standard. There we go. That's the color I'm looking for. And we will change the color of the text to white here. And then we also need to change the sun lamp here that we have. So I can actually go ahead and let's actually get rid of this sun lamp, and we'll hit Shift A to add in a new light, and that'll be a point light. And we'll just hit G Y to move it in the front there. Maybe turn the radius up to 5, maybe not that big, maybe to 2, and turn the power up to 1,000. Nope, not 1,000. 100. 100 looks fine to me. And maybe I'll go ahead and actually, instead of point lamp, we can probably get away with doing an area lamp. RXY. Turn size up to maybe 10, maybe 5, maybe 7. Yeah, 7. We're gonna go ahead and instead of making this thinner here, I'll go ahead and hit S to scale it on frame 5, and then on frame 10, then hit S, Y, 0. Now we have that being flat right there. We'll hit, we'll deselect everything by hitting double tapping A, getting rid of all that, turn my overlays back off. I like it. Hope you guys and girls enjoyed it. We can even make smaller pixels. We can have this land on smaller values, so it's not as big. So maybe I will go to 6 because I want it to be a little bit more chunky. There we go. So that looks good. I hope you enjoyed it. We can also turn up the offset to make this a little bigger, a little thicker, or a little thinner. Like I said, if you do change the text, you can get some other effects too. This is of course just with the default font. So let's actually animate this real quick too. This is pretty sweet. So if I go ahead and have this offset on frame 25 on 0, and then on frame maybe 40, I'll change the offset maybe to negative 0.15, hit I, and then on frame 50, we will, maybe not 50, on 55, we'll change it back to 0, hit I. Now we have something that looks cool like this. So it kind of does this weird kind of text like effect there, which is pretty sweet. Actually, I like that a lot. So that was pretty good. We also turned viewport denoising off, and now we have this weird kind of jumbly letters kind of text thing when it comes in. And I'll change the end frame to 100 instead of 60. There we go. There you have it. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. You can do a lot of cool stuff with just modifiers and animation and animating values in Blender. It's really fun, really easy to do. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, bye-bye.